Live broadcast.
Okay. You know what, Shutt? I think we're live.
Is that thing working?
Hello? Hello? Anybody in Facebook land? All right. Hey, Legacy Live.
Welcome back, Dan.
I missed you.
A long time.
Not really.
Hey, that hurts.
Hey, we're back. We're live.
Hey, Tony.
Little bit of a post-Irma hangover I think everybody had.
That was a long time ago.
Let's call it a coma because it was that long.
The Irma coma?
Irma coma.
Cool.
So, but exciting things. We're back open. We're live. Soda shop and ice cream shop.
Back open.
Open. They're not live, but we're broadcasting them live.
Yeah, but they're further away than they used to be, so that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. That 100 feet.
But I don't have to cross the road anymore, so it's safer to get to
Safety first.
Yep.
Safety first. We also have a new eatery downtown, or should we say a new ownership. Yeah. Faded Bistro has now opened. They took over for McLean's Garden Cafe, one of our favorites for our family rides. And they've got a great new bar. Go in there, go into Faded, and talk to them about that bar that they built.
Yeah. From
the 1860s
in
Baltimore.
Guess who has sat at that bar, according to one of the proprietors?
Oh, me.
Well, besides you.
You.
Grant. Not Roe. Ulysses. That's the claim. I don't know what documentation he has for that, but that's the claim is that Grant sat at that bar.
I see.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So, hey, Paul Barbaro joining us all the way from Ave Maria. Sounds fancy.
Have you talked to Paul lately?
Sounds fancy. No.
Talked to Paul lately?
No, not yet.
I think Paul's going to be happy to hear from you by, close of business Friday?
Maybe-ish. Paul, there may be something. There may be something in transit.
You're picking up what I'm laying down.
There may be something in transit for you, Paul.
You might want to,
a little hesitant to tell you until it arrived on the doorstep, but
it's getting close.
Be looking for a phone call from me, Paul.
Getting close.
All right. So everybody's recovered. We're surviving. Where are we going? Hey, we had a couple good rides that happened since we last were live. You want to talk about one of them you were on?
Well, I just got back from Tally Tango with Willem, Andre, and Tim Marine.
What is Tally Tango?
And the week before that, though, was Six Gap. And it had about 8 guys go up there. Bob and Jeff and Kip, Eric, Willem, Andre.
Yeah. Six Gap is 100 miles in the mountains of Georgia. Probably
10,400 something feet of climbing.
Of elevation climbing.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, over 100 miles. So
Kip killed it. So I just want to say congratulations, Kip. I think
killing it, Kip.
Overall winner that day. So
awesome. What did he win?
Glory.
Yeah, I think it was like 250th, 450th, or is it 1450? But he won the local race.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The local race.
Yes. Yeah.
He was a local winner
of all the old people.
Yes.
There's a lot of old people.
He was super fast.
See if anyone up there.
And then, so tell me what Tally Tango is. I know it's not for me, nor will it ever be. I gotta promise you that.
It's an adventure bike packing.
Is it really an adventure?
Race/ride, depending on how you approach it. It's definitely an adventure. If you don't have an adventure on that, then you've done way cooler than I will ever do, if you consider that not an adventure. But so basically, we had our hurricane, which meant a lot of people didn't have time to train and ride and do things going to Six Gap and even going to our Tally Tango. But it's 160 miles.
At least Irma created a good excuse.
Wow, I'm full of good excuses. But 160-mile ride, mostly off-road. There's some pavement on there, but it's mostly off-road. And it's on roads that aren't, forest roads that aren't ridden a lot. A little bit of single track. I think maybe at the most 20 miles out of 160 single track. Single track's the more fun stuff to ride. Everything else kind of gets monotonous.
All right, you're boring me. What was the goal here?
The goal is to ride 160 miles on off-road bikes, mountain bikes, or I was riding a gravel bike, if you will, and stuff. So
it's 160 miles.
Some people do it nonstop.
Okay.
Some people do it as a camping thing where they'll stop at 10, 11 o'clock at night, the first night, after about 110 miles or so, sleep, and then wake up sometime in the morning on 3 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep.
So I know
and finish the other 50 to 60 miles, depending on.
So I know there was a modification to your plan.
So we had this crazy idea, and I wish I could blame one person for this, but it was a consensus of what to do. But Hurricane Nate was threatening Tallahassee early in the week by Tuesday or so. So we had this idea of a couple different things, but the thing we landed on was driving up Thursday after work, because I had to work till 6 that day. I couldn't go off any earlier. Jim, I think, was stuck till close to 6.
Mm-hmm.
We drove the 4 or 5 hours up to Tallahassee, stopped for dinner on the way, got there, got changed out, and by 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:10 a.m., we were departing on a 160-mile ride, what was supposed to be a 160-mile ride. And so we started in the dark on single track, which is a challenge, and then rode
1 a.m.?
1 a.m. Fridays when we started,
right?
1:10 a.m. We finished in quotations, 1 a.m. Saturday, so 23 hours and 50 minutes. Tim Marine's adamant that's 24 hours of riding. And riding, or 24 hours on the event.
Yeah.
And we stopped at about mile 115, 120, and again, collectively decided our butts cannot take our saddles any longer.
Right.
So instead of finishing the final 20 miles or so on single track and whatever, and averaging 3 to 5 miles an hour if we're lucky, we took the road back.
And part of that's because you get stuck in sugar sand, you have to walk a couple sections.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that take a lot out of you. It's not like riding 100 miles on the road or 160 miles.
So how do you mentally overcome or mentally survive not just 145 miles in the saddle? Because there's plenty of folks. I've done that. I've done 167 in one day, doing across Florida on a road bike. Yeah. You're sub 12 hours. It's not that big of a deal. It's an accomplishment, but it's not that mental fatigue that you deal with doing basically that same distance, but over twice the time.
You have to break it up into sections, and Andre and Willem have done this.
In your mind, you're breaking it into sections.
Yeah, so Andre and Willem, this is their third attempt on the route doesn't change too much.
Right.
And for Tim and I, we were newbies, and we're basically following their guidance as far as, but they know when certain turns are coming up, certain landmarks, certain food stops, and that's kind of how you break it up. Like everything, you break it up in bite-sized chunks.
Why do you always use a food analogy? It doesn't matter what it is.
Everything's around food. Everything. I love the idea of starting in the dark, and our first 6 to 7 hours was in the dark.
So your first 6 to 7 bite-sized chunk was in the dark.
Yeah. And then
you're just eating whatever.
And I eat in the dark all the time anyway, so it's not unusual. And then we did the daytime. I would do that again. I like that format of starting at 1 a.m., midnight, whatever. Actually, I would start earlier in the night, but I would set it up so that I wasn't awake for a full 18 hours before I started the ride. That was my personal downfall. That made everything tough.
Well, and for most everybody on your team, they had the same struggles to deal with.
Yeah. And I
so we were
ashamed to say I was the slowest one of that ride, just because I think of my fitness level and.
So did you really ride from pizza shop to pizza shop? Is that how it worked?
That's pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Scott was asking, and I just wanted to make sure that indeed was.
Yeah.
So, dude, what an accomplishment though. Once you finished it, you guys had to have been exhausted, just ready to pass out. But you wake up the next morning. What do you feel like?
Tired.
All right. That's anticlimactic.
I'd hardly ever turn my phone off because I work calls and stuff like that. I figured this time, whatever work calls came in on a Saturday morning, we went to bed at 3 a.m. I said I can afford to miss calls. At 10:30, Tim and I were awoken to a loud banging on our door at the hotel, and it was not room service. Yeah, so they were ready to ride.
I've been on that end of the pounding on the door before.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin, I'm supposed to let you speak.
We all know that's
it's not annoying. I mean, these people aren't sitting here actually listening to you.
Right. I don't think they are.
They're listening to you out of the line. So huge props to all those guys. Both Six Gap.
Six Gap
big
guys,
accomplishment.
Hey, and
Andre and Willem were on Six Gap, and then went out.
Exactly. That's the cool thing. And here's the big news for Six Gap. I heard Dan Andrews is going to Six Gap next year.
Shoot, son, let me tell you about this.
Have you told your wife yet?
She knows. She knows that I'm way into overcommitting and underperforming. Happens every night. But there's a Valley ride. Did you know that?
Why do you think I committed?
I can get the shirt, I can get the jersey, and I can ride the Valley. Yeah, I'm in.
And there's pizza.
I am in. Hannah must have Laura's Facebook account because we get a bunch of thumbs up all at once. But yeah, so Six Gap next year. I figure I got a year worth of training, which means I have at least 11 and a half months of procrastinating before I get ready.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
Yeah. The excuses will come closer to the event. Easier to come up with by then.
All right. So, hey, let's get caught up. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Brown says she's in, too.
She did not get the memo. Wives are not invited.
She can stay in a hotel room on the other side of town. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. All right. So, hey, we want to talk about, Highlands Bike Fest is coming up. That's going to be the first weekend in December.
Yes.
Kind of reminiscent of format and feel that we had for Labor Day. But
one change is going to be a 2-day event instead of a 3-day, which is different.
2-day event, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
But we also know we had a visit from our ride director this evening, and Rebecca and Billy are both really excited about managing the event again, but they really want to add some local flair and pizzazz to the event. So
take something that already exists and add to it for the benefit of the riders, but benefit for local artists or vendors or businesses or whatever. So I think we talked about it. So we're going to have them on in a couple of weeks or whatever to kind of discuss some of their ideas that they kicked around in front of us. But I think we want to kind of give people a heads up that if you own a business or know of a business that's conducive to some kind of a vendor setup and with a kind of a captured audience of several hundred cyclists or more, just keep that on your radar. Keep that weekend open.
Let's face it, most cyclists, not bike shop owners, but most cyclists are affluent or at that point in their life where they're spending discretionary income on items, and so it'd be a great opportunity for arts and craft vendors, bike supply vendors. Even thinking the crossover market of other outdoor lifestyle type activities,
kayak,
great opportunity to expose themselves to a unique and really specific audience that'll be here for that weekend.
And you got two captured audience. If you're any of you all interested in this or know someone that might be, is not only do you have the cyclists, but then you have spouses and families. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of kids, wives or husbands or whatever who may not be riding at all, and they're looking for just something to do, instead of going back to the hotel room or coming to the venue to wait for them to get back and doing something. So anyways, if you got ideas, shoot us ideas.
Yeah, our boy Perry just tuned in.
Cool.
I think car racing season's coming to a wind down, and he may be gearing up for a little two-wheeled action.
I would love to see Perry and Kelly down here visiting.
They should be coming soon. I mean, Perry, when are you getting here? Let us know. We're looking forward to seeing you. All right, so a couple other downtown events we want to talk about. The first is in 2 weeks, we've got the Craft Beer Festival, October 21st. Downtown Sebring. This is a benefit for the Children's Museum of Highlands County, and they are selling tickets. We'll have tickets here tomorrow. They sell VIP passes, which get you into the Circle Theater for some hors d'oeuvres and special beers.
And out of the rain.
Right. And then they've got some other vendors set up around the circle. Craft beer only. So it's not
good stuff.
No Natty Light, Perry. It's only good craft beer. And I don't know how to answer that question.
It's like a motocross event. Kids and beer. Bunch of rednecks drinking beer while the kids run the track.
They're selling beer to fundraise to benefit.
Yeah, exactly. It's an adult event.
So
the kids at home.
The other thing we've got is the Friday before Halloween downtown is the downtown trick or treat.
27th. Right on the circle. I think it's the 27th.
Friday the 27th, 5 to 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All the merchants will be down. Oh, PBR, my friend, PBR. Yeah, so all the merchants will be out passing out candy and things like that. Maybe we'll do some cornhole and things like that on the front sidewalk. But so bring the kids downtown, trick or treat, safe, great environment. Friday.
Cool. Before Halloween.
All right, Shutt. What are we doing for after work rides since the time's changing in 2 weeks?
Right, and even before it changes, the A group guys, so that they can get their mileage, have been starting at 5:30. And even then, I think they're running with lights.
Yeah.
We're going to keep running around 6 o'clock for the B group when we got enough people to do a B group ride. But once the time changes, we're going to shift over to starting at Sudden Lakes. Down at the we've been starting meeting, and actually we might change the starting point to somewhere maybe closer to the restaurant. I don't know. I'll have to talk to the guys and see where we're going to start at. But regardless, there's a good 10-mile loop out there we can run. It's safer to ride at night out there than it is on busier roads out here. And times will probably be 6 o'clock and maybe earlier if we can. Because I just see people, it's a late night when you're riding in the dark that way. But it's cool because it's 10-mile loops. You can do 1 loop, 2 loops, 3 loops. If you're running a little bit late, you can run it backwards and find the group and stuff. And also when the time changes.
Listen up, Perry. Listen up. It's for you, Perry.
Yeah, Perry, you're going to want to do this at least twice a month, and we'll try to post a day or two in advance going up to Polytechnic again. And this is definitely a group ride.
Right.
You can do it if you're slower, but the key is how fast you are. How comfortable you are in a group that's going to be going 19 miles an hour from the start. I mean, that's their warm-up pace. And they'll go faster than that and stuff. And they start off easy at the beginning of the season, and as you get closer to the spring, they ramp up the pace.
Yep.
So, but you got to be comfortable with the pace line. If you're not, I don't recommend you go. If you're kind of a beginner with groups, don't go to this one. Or prepare to hang out the back and learn and stuff. But it's a great place if you're good with the group. You want to get your fitness up. Yeah, it's a great place to do it.
And I think another thing that we'll be implementing now that
that's a night ride.
Yep, night ride. Now that time is changing, one of the goals we have is to do family bike rides and maybe do those on a Saturday afternoon where it's kind of the late afternoon start
earlier.
Yeah, that way not everybody has to be fully lit.
And starting at 3:30 after the shop closes, we're still looking at finishing.
And having dinner
in the dark, though. So at least we get some daylight ride and the weather be more conducive. So we'll be doing that.
Yeah. So we'll evolve to that from what we've been doing, which is the first Friday. We'll evolve that to Saturday.
As always, just keep watching our Facebook page for those announcements on dinner rides, family rides, Polytech, and all that stuff.
So last but not least, let's talk about what went live 2 days ago.
Talking about the SpaceX launch?
No.
I think all the fall shows are starting up again. Blackish? You see the Blackish?
I did. I watched
Columbus Day one?
No, I don't watch Blackish. I thought you said Blacklist.
That was hard.
I don't watch Blackish. I watch Blacklist.
Good.
Confusing. All right. So, hey, big announcement. Heartland Triathlon registration is live.
That's cool, but I think it's cool that they're doing duathlon and
an aqua bike. Yes, that is way cool. And one of the coolest things is there's an early bird discount for the first until the end of November, basically, where you can save about 40%. It depends on which event you're doing.
It's a lot of money.
First time offering a duathlon, both in the sprint and Olympic distance. For those who don't know, a duathlon, instead of swim, bike, run, is a bike, run, bike. All right, I'm sorry.
Bike,
run, bike, run.
Idiots. And a lot of
Did
hearts.
We mention
that
I'm the new race director, and I can't even figure out which comes before who and how?
I'm not sure that's written in stone yet, so keep talking.
It could change. Shri, do you want your job back? It's yours. Have it. No. So duathlon, we're going to run, bike, run instead of swim, bike, run.
And then aqua bike.
An aqua bike, you're just going to swim, bike.
Done.
So, and done. Swim, bike, and done. So, 2 new great opportunities huge savings if they get in before the end of November. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, Perry should probably register just because it's so cheap. I mean, why wouldn't you?
And let your triathlon friends know. Go to the Heartland Tribe page and share that event so people know that they get in now.
That really helps us
save a lot of money. Yeah. So
this is a great community event that brings about 1,500 athletes to downtown Sebring.
13th year, lucky 13.
Lucky 13.
So as a matter of fact, 13 people are getting stuff sent to their homes.
That's right.
Because they were the first 13 to register.
Yeah, the first 13 that registered, we got a gift of a swag box that we're sending out to them. So, you're right, Tony. Everybody should register.
Where are you going to squat? You're welcome to squat at Legacy anytime, Perry.
We'll set up a place for you to squat. So anyways, that's big for us. We're really excited. We've loved being a part of the Heartland Triathlon for all these years, and it's excited to step up our game in the hope that we can help the event continue and grow. So check out the Heartland Tri page. Share it if you would, please. We'd love to get more people involved, and that's all I got.
I think we're good.
Okay. Hey, look for some guests in the next couple weeks talking about events and different things. That way they're not just stuck listening to us monkeys. And by monkeys, I mean plural, not possessive. No comment before or after the S. We're just stupid monkeys.
It's a bike shop, not an English class.
Amen to that. All right, guys.
Oh, just in case you guys, we don't have a discussion about it, I just want to remind people, it's mountain bike season. Just
Amen. Amen.
Follow that in the back of your head.
Yep, it is.
Thanks for watching tonight, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace out. Are we off? Are we done?
No.
Hurry up, turn it off. They're going to hear something they don't want to hear.
David Stevens wants a time trial.
Legacy Live is over.